All right, today's lesson is Exponents, Chapter 1, Section 8. We use this in middle school quite a bit, so I think this is just a refresher for the majority of our students. And just as a reminder, for today's work, here it is, but you do not have any parentheses, you don't have any multiplication, division, or addition, subtraction. What I want to point out is E for exponents. When you work top to bottom on order of operations, exponents is second on the list. So exponents needs to be done before multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. All right, let's go ahead and go into the reading. There is a shorter way to show multiplication when factors are the same. 4 times 4 times 4 can be written as 4 to the third. So let's break this down a little bit. Base 4 is a factor 3 times. So they're saying in this answer, in 4 to the third, 4 is the base. The little number will be the exponent, and your answer is going to be called a power. In 4 to the third, 4 is the base, 3 is the exponent, which I just kind of explained that. And how do they get 4 to the third? Well, you have 4 one time, 2 times, 3 times. So that's why you have 4 to the third. The exponent tells how many times the base is used as a factor. The exponent also tells the power of the base. Power is the answer. 64 is the third power of 4. You can use other numbers as exponents. Reading the examples down below, 4 to the first equals 4. 4 squared is 4 times 4 is 16. Now I'm going to throw in another one really quick. I'm going to do 4 to the third, and it's going to be a little messy squeezing this in because I'm doing it with a small mouse. But 4 to the third, as we did up there on the top, is 4 times 4 times 4. And the reason I'm showing you this, your answer is going to be 64. But I'm going to point out today, this is 4 to the third. Let me get that as a 4 to the third, 4 squared, 4 to the first. What happens when you see 4 to the 0? Students are going to go, that's 0. And then I'll have some students say 4. Well, I'm going to show you both those are wrong. If I took the 64 right here, let me change colors just a second. If I took the 64 and divided by the base 4, 64 divided by 4 will give me the answer to 4 squared. There it is. It's 16, right? Now, if I took 16 and I divided it by the base 4 in 4 squared, 16 divided by 4 will give me the answer to 4 to the first power. So when I take 4 and I divide it by base 4, my answer, 4 divided by 4, is 1, which means if I put 4 to the 0 power up there, going in order, 4 to the 0 power is 1. So even if you have a high number and it's 125 and it's got to the 0 power, let's say that's not degrees, but 125 to the 0 power, your answer is not 0, your answer is not 125, it is 1. All numbers that are to the power of 0 will be 1. Moving to the work here, example 1, find the power. So here's 6 squared, and you can barely see it right there underneath my little mess. So what I'm going to quickly do is just kind of erase that so that you can see it. Let's go back up to my purple. In purple right there. All right, find the power, 6 squared. Use 6 as a factor 2 times. So here's 6 squared. You will need to take a side piece of paper, lined piece of paper today, and write out your exponent, and underneath it, 6 times 6. So you have to have 2 sixes, which we do. 6 times 6, 36. Pretty simple answer. So 6 squared equals 36. All right, as you move along in today's work, just a little side note here, watch for the sign of the base. Parentheses can be used to show the base, okay? And this is actually going to be 2 little problems here, and it will take us into example 2. So I don't make sure I'm going to kind of draw this little t-square to help you not get confused. Let me fix my mess here. Apparently I can't erase anything that's off screen, okay? So going into purple. All right. So I want to look at negative 2 to the third. 2 is the base, so I'm going to start with this side over here. Find the power to negative 2 to the third. Use 2 as a factor 3 times, and as you can see here, they have gotten negative 2 thirds equals negative 8. Okay? And I guess I should fix this quite a little bit. The book makes this a little confusing. So all of this right here goes together, and then this part will go down here, and I'll draw an arrow in a second. But let me go back to this. So if you have negative 2 to the third, what they want you to realize is that your exponent is going to separate um, your negative sign here from the base. So you're going to want to write the base 2 times, or 2, the base 2 3 times. 1, 2, 3. You're going to put it in parentheses and keep your negative on the outside. So when you have 2 times 2 times 2, your answer is 8. And what you're going to do now on this problem is just bring your negative over. The difference here, no parentheses, but look what happens when they do put parentheses here. This will be example number 3. So find the power negative 12 squared. Use negative 12 as a factor 2 times. So this is where it gets a little confusing. Notice here the difference is you're using negative 12 2 times, but up here you did not use the negative 2 3 times. You only used 2 3 times, and it's all because of the parentheses. So what you do is you take negative 12 2 times, negative 12 times negative 12. 12 times 12 is 144. And you know from your integer rules, when you multiply same signs, you're going to get a positive answer. So back to the work here. 12 times 12 is 144. A negative times a negative is a positive. So your answer is 144. I highly recommend today, on today's work, look at the problems that you have here. You're going to have number 10 and number 11 that are going to completely throw you off. So make sure that you follow these rules in examples 2 and 3. With that, again, when you go to work today, have a piece of paper, lined piece of paper, do your work. So I'm going to pretend I have a lined piece of paper. I am going to do, let's do red. I'm going to go to my lined piece of paper, take number 1 with me. So you are not doing the top box and you are not doing the last 2 problems. 6 squared. So if I take number 1 and I put 6 squared, 6 is my base, 2 is my exponent. How many 6's do I need? I need 2 of them. Stick multiplication in the middle. My answer for number 1, 6 times 6 is 36. In the create box on the assignment, I only need your answer, okay? But I highly recommend that you do your work on side piece of paper. And for this, I'm not requiring a picture. I am going to help you with one problem. Let's take number 11. Let's take number 11 really quick. That is negative 4 squared. Here's 11, negative 4. I think it was in parentheses with the square on the outside. Let me go back and check my work. Yes. Okay. So I am using this example right down here, which means I'm going to write negative 4 the base however many times I need. In this case, I only need to write it 2 times. So it's going to be a negative 4 times a negative 4. 4 times 4 is 16. And again, to my integer rules over here, same signs, negative and a negative gives me a positive. So number 11 will be positive, which will be a little bit different than number 10. All right, there's your work for today. Have any questions, don't be afraid to contact me through Schoology, or if you're in class, raise your hand. All right, you may begin.